I took $1,000 out to Vegas at 16 years old. I played my first hand of blackjack. Instead, I blow $900 the first day I'm out there and have to survive in Las Vegas for the next 9 days with $100 in my pocket. I got so full of ego that I thought I could repeat it. You get real true with yourself about ego when you're sitting at a steel case desk telling people that you're going out of business, and it's very humiliating.
After recovering from a gambling addiction that started at 13 years old, and going from zero to $1 billion with Marquis Jet, and then crashing hard trying to compete with Airbnb, his superpower is simple. He always gets back up.
I really believe my only skill in life is getting up 1,000,001.
I'm Jason Reposa. After 25 years in tech and cannabis, I host High Functioning to show what actually works. Today's guest is Jay Sapovitz, founder of Inked Stores, the merch operator running hundreds of swag-filled web stores and proving service still wins in a crowded, commoditized space. We get into rebuilding after public failure, how gambling brought him to UNLV, and how his work ethic and loyalty opened the doors that took him from traveling with Larry Johnson to announcing on Philly's #1 sports station.
She basically said to me, "This is not going to be my life." And I was like, okay, I'm a loser. She's awesome. I don't think anybody will ever love me if I don't make a change. And I just then and there got the courage to make a change. And then slowly but surely dug my way out of the hole that I had spent the better part of 12 years digging myself into.
This is Real Strategy Over Hype. Let's dive in. Chew, wait, hope. Hard pass. Pocket uses micro and nano emulsification, so effects show up in about a quarter hour. It's the gummy experience without the gummy lag. Pocket your chill and keep moving.
My name is Jay Sapovitz. I'm the owner of Inked Stores. I'm a swag and merch guy. I produce anything with a logo. I do. A lot of apparel, a lot of hard goods, gifts, kits. We operate over 300, 400 web stores at any one time on behalf of our clients. And that's what we do. We make stuff.
Yeah.
Makers.
That's what it is today. But you have a very wide range of experience, we'll say.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons why I brought you on is because of your wide range of experience. But
thanks.
First of all, the name Inked.
Yeah.
I like how you say underneath it subtext, not a tattoo shop.
Yeah.
Was that something that was happening when you first opened? You were like, "Whoa, I want to get a tattoo. Can you guys help me?"
It's funny. We started as a pop-up store. That's the origin of Inked.
Was it a COVID story or was it something else?
Before COVID. So it's 2015 and we were in the fitness business. We were manufacturing fitness equipment under the name Cirrus Fitness. And we had a bunch of licenses with the NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball.
What's like outfit like their facilities or something? Or is it?
It was more consumer based. So we were working with
NBA logo on it.
We put in, you're a Celtics fan and you want a yoga mat that has a Celtics logo or Celtics art on it.
Yeah.
We manufactured it.
Right.
Well, turns out people don't buy a lot of yoga mats in mass. So sales
I thought yoga was popular.
It is popular, but how many yoga mats do you buy in a year?
In a lifetime.
Would you buy more? Let's put it this way. Do you buy more t-shirts a year or yoga mats?
T-shirts.
Right.
Actually.
So we had learned so sales weren't as voluminous as we had hoped, right? We have lofty goals. You know me, I want to sell.
Right.
And we just weren't selling and didn't have the velocity that we wanted. And I had fallen in love through going to trade shows with this. That's
a first.
Well, I love trade shows.
I can't stand
but I had fallen in love with a technology called direct-to-garment printing that was
DTG. Yeah.
That was starting to take shape in real form in the middle, like 2013, 2014, when it really started to come of age and displace screen print. And I fell in love with the technology. And I said, if I'm ever able to get a DTG machine, I'm going to try to open a retail store and print, like walk in, get a t-shirt printed, on the original
idea.
And that was the original idea. We started in a pop-up store for 6 weeks from November 1st till, October 30th, 2015 to Christmas in Mansfield, Massachusetts. And we had one DTG machine and people would walk in and make stuff.
So
T-shirts, hoodies.
knowing that the previous business that was in fitness, licensing,
Just didn't have the velocity. Yeah.
Was this a night and day difference, or what was it like? Well, do you have to advertise a ton October 30th? Also, because it's Halloween now.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Halloween wasn't a really factor for us because
it was already
opening our
over.
doors. It was already over for us. I'd say that the real push here was we went from selling something that didn't have a lot of velocity to selling something that did. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, right? People buy a lot more of those. So, I'd never operated or owned a retail store before, but I had learned how to decorate a lot of really difficult and challenging things.
So in-store merchandising.
Now, more like, you're decorating medicine balls and stability balls. You're doing PVC and foam and leather, and we had figured out
materials
are really hard. Yes. So I'd become an expert in decoration before I got into decorating things with direct-to-garment. But the direct-to-garment concept was more of a shick. I can print something for you on the spot. And that appealed to people. And it was I didn't look at retail as retail. I looked at retail as a marketing magnet. I looked at it as, like you go to retail stores in your local community.
Yeah.
So now you walk into my store and you also happen to be a business owner.
Right.
That's how I used the retail to try to ingratiate myself to new business. In the first month, November of 2015, it was hard. I thought we were across from an LL Bean, had this beautiful storefront, hardwood floors, 12-foot ceilings, floor-to-glass windows. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous shop. And nobody walked in.
High Functioning isn't your average cannabis podcast. It's where business, wellness, and culture collide with honest convos from people actually doing the work. Tap in at High Functioning Show and hit subscribe so you don't miss a drop. Now, back to the episode.
So I bought a penguin suit off of Amazon, and I had students that worked for me stand outside with signs in a penguin suit flagging people down. I played Santa Claus. I tried paint night. I had live musicians come in and play in a retail environment.
Right. So November, it's dead. December, I guess, changed something.
Dead-ish.
Yeah.
We still got people walking in. However, people would come in that had never been in the store before, and they would sit. I'm sitting behind the desk. I'm literally working at a retail shop. And people would say, I didn't walk in because I thought you were a tattoo shop.
Right.
And I would say, not a tattoo shop. Now, mind you, we're next to a GNC and an Omaha Steaks. Across the way is an LL Bean.
Right.
A high-end fitness place, a paper store, all these really, higher-end strip mall type retail shops.
So in your head, you thought it was going to be very clear that it not going to be interpreted that way.
Where are tattoo shops? They're not in A retail A spots. They're in like retail BC spots.
Right.
So in my head, it was really clear. So almost sarcastically, I would say, not a tattoo shop. Well, you say not a tattoo shop 50 times in a week, all of a sudden, like in your head. So I started
printing it.
And it would invariably get a reaction from people. They'd be like, I inked, not a tattoo shop. What do you do? Now, mind you, Jason, I've been in a number of businesses, right? I've spent tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars on consultants to try to come up with names, slogans, taglines, creative. To this day, not a tattoo shop. By far the best tagline I've ever had.
I like that because you're right. Because you always have to ask that follow-up question. If it's not a tattoo shop, what is it?
What is it?
That is really smart. So you wouldn't go back and change the name if you were to start over again?
From inked stores?
Yeah.
No, it's hard to own. But there's also benefits. Just in general, yeah. But but it's also good in a way that it's ubiquitous, right? Because I've had people come to me and say, like, I've ordered from you before. They haven't, but they think they have because they've worked with another inked. And I'm sure that's worked against me. But, when you're first getting started, what's in a name? And I think we embroider now. Obviously, we didn't when we first started. But no, I wouldn't go back and change it. It's
interesting. Yeah, because I think of the apparel game as because there's a bunch of places around here, in my local town, there's a customer apparel where a lot of the Medway sports teams will get their gear from, for instance, or in their apparel. Like, why apparel of all things? Because we're going to get into your background with it, but like, you saw it just as a bigger opportunity from where you were before, kind of thing.
There's no question about it.
Okay, because when I think of apparel, I think of like a commodity, a commoditized business.
Sort of. Service is never a commodity, right? So,
well, that's what I was going to ask about, the differentiator between you and like the local shop around here, for instance.
Yeah. I mean, I think differentiation is that when somebody texts me or calls me at any time of the day or night, they get a response or they get a real human being. Mm-hmm. There's a certain accountability that comes with the way you produce things. Something's not right, you fix it, you argue about it.
Yeah.
There's always quality. There's also, we control our manufacturing. So I actually own our embroidery machines and screen print presses. We do the work inside of our shop.
How big's your shop?
I mean, it's big enough to handle a multi-million-dollar business. I mean, so it continues to grow. We flex up and down as we need. Like we do use some contractors, but not many. But
so
yeah,
what percentage is D2G now of your sales?
1%.
Wow, that's so funny. So D2G, new technology, you're in it, and then all of a sudden, screen printing then, and
embroidery at this time of year is like king.
Yeah.
I mean,
but overall for the year, like
it's about
screen printing.
Yeah, it's about 60% screen print, 40% embroidery.
Why is screen printing just superior? Because I've sometimes get some D2G stuff because I can tell it's D2G because it's like almost like it just fades so quickly. It depends, I guess, who makes it.
Yeah,
depends on the sheet machine. Maybe depends on a bunch of factors.
The substrate, the shirt you actually use.
Yeah,
the cotton.
If there's a mismatch on it, that it's like
the biggest piece of DTG is it's got to be on 100% cotton, and it needs to be there's a pre-treat application that needs to be applied to it, and a lot of times folks will take a shortcut, skip the pre-treat, and then it doesn't last as long. I mean, I've had DTG shirts that I've personally printed that have lasted 5 years and look as good now as they did 5 years ago. And then I've had DTG shirt that I've printed that I wore 3 times. And I said, boy, if I ever sent this out the shop, I'd be really disappointed.
Right.
So what we do is not an exact science. So there's, definitely a margin of error. I mean, it's difficult. And to your point of, is it a commodity? There's a lot of things in life that are a commodity, like pizza, for example. But from where we're sitting today or from where your house is, there's probably 15 pizza shops.
There's a bunch.
Right? But how many do you go? You go to 3, right?
Yeah, we probably go to 2.
2. Okay.
And a half.
2.5.
Yeah.
Right. The third is like the last resort.
Yeah.
And there's like an odd reason why you go to it.
Right.
But I guarantee none of those 15 pizza shops inside of the radius that you would think of calling have gone out of business,
right? Because
there's enough people that buy pizza,
right?
And that's kind of the space that we're in. And when you are in business as long as we are, and we just passed our 10-year anniversary, you really narrow in on who your ideal clients are, and you get to be a little bit. I'm not bragging. But you do get to be a little bit picky, so who you can really service well and who you can't. And you just have those honest conversations up front with clients based on what their needs are and whether or not you're a great fit. I mean, if a company is 80% international and 20% in the US, they're probably not right for us.
Right.
So you just have those conversations.
So going from the pop-up store, you're calling it a pop-up store. To me, that's just a store.
Well, your pop-up store was
temporary, like lease.
Yeah, that's 6 weeks.
So the 6-week lease.
6 weeks. And I just didn't call the real estate company back and just stayed.
Ongoing.
Yeah, literally. That's true. So I just paid the rent every month.
And they were like, well, whatever, he's still there. So
I never talked to anybody for a year.
Wow.
I just paid him. I rarely.
But you held on to it because it worked well enough that you wanted to keep on going with the store.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. And, I was doing outbound sales and using it as my showroom, right? So I would host Chamber of Commerce events. I did a Chamber of Commerce event that was super popular. I had everybody come in with a zip drive of their logo and printed them a t-shirt on the spot.
That's it.
And we did t-shirts in 2 hours, the power of direct to garments.
Yeah.
Pick out your shirt and we'll print it for you right here on the spot.
Right. That's a great thing. So, but you, like, how did you know to even do that little campaign? Is it just because of experience in the market? Like are you more of a marketing person or more of a salesperson? Like
I am a idea person.
Okay. So number one, you feel like you're the idea person.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
But I'm average at marketing, right?
That's a great campaign. The Chamber of Commerce stuff, like, hey, we're going to preach your t-shirt right then and there. That must have been fantastic.
I'm not afraid to fail. I have failed so much in my life. I've had so much disappointment, and I've been knocked down a million times. I really believe my only skill in life is getting up 1,000,001. So when you say, like, am I a marketing guy or am I a sales guy? The answer is yes.
Right.
But I'm not a data analytics marketing guy, which in today's world seems to be
it's a lot of that.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the standard behind, like, you still have to have the idea.
But like, I haven't promoted this yet. And, but like, for example, I don't know if, I think you saw, I did a Ryder Cup ad this year, and official Ryder Cup program, and took clients to the Ryder Cup and did entertainment around the Ryder Cup. And, like, to me, that's how I do my marketing, where I get into my clients' lives. And I took some great clients down, and we spent, I had 3 days down in New York where I was just with clients, and all different clients. And I'm in the process right now of working on a Super Bowl activation, and, maybe it'll work and maybe it won't,
right,
Jason, but I've had a lot of things in my life not work.
Right.
I'm here today.
You can't be afraid of the failure, right? So I think that goes through a lot of startup founders who are maybe listening to us right now. Is it like, you just have to try a bunch of stuff sometimes too, right?
You have to try it.
Yeah.
You have to.
You don't know. You should try.
So after I had left, I'm just trying to think of the ordering. After I had closed a business that was unsuccessful, I had a buddy of mine ask me to run a golf course in Plainville. And he had some disputes going on with his partner, and wasn't exactly a great ending for me, but I had a summer basically where I was paid to run a golf course and keep the lights on and drive revenue. And I hired a golf pro, a guy by the name of Steve Landy. To this day, one of the best people I've ever worked with in my life, and I love the man. Okay.
Yeah.
The biggest reason why I loved him is he ran all the golf operations, and he helped facilitate the ideas that I had. And no matter what the idea was that I came to him with, he said to me, no problem, we'll get it done. And we're having lunch one day, and he said to me, he goes, something, Jay, you're the greatest marketer I've ever met in my life. And I said, I don't feel that, but that's nice of you to say. Why? And he said, because he goes, I've been in this business for 30 years. He was older. He said, I've been in this business 30 years. He goes, the things that you've tried, he goes, I would never even think about saying no to you, because I've never heard anybody attempt or try these things ever before. And, some were really successful and some weren't. I mean, we had a full page article in the Boston Globe, Jason, because I partnered with the North Attleboro YMCA, right? Ed Hurley was running it. I went into his office and I have an idea. I want to bring a daycare to the golf club. And I want to start Tuesday mornings. I want to start a program, and I want to call it the Moms Club. And I want to give moms in the area a chance to play 9 holes. Did a full page article in the Boston Globe featuring this golf course.
It's a great idea. Yeah.
I don't know whether it was or it wasn't. I mean,
fresh though.
Jason, you know how many moms we had?
Yeah.
8.
Yeah.
12.
Right.
I mean, we didn't blow it out of the water. They paid $20 to play golf.
Right.
8 moms is $160. It costs me more to run the daycare, right? But I had a full page ad in the Boston Globe, and people were talking about this golf course when it was on the verge of bankruptcy.
Yeah, love it.
This pro did all the work to facilitate that. So, you need people around you that are willing to accept you're crazy and fulfill your ideas and concepts with you and support you when you have those ideas. And I've been fortunate in my career to have a lot of those people around me.
That's fantastic. I think we're definitely cut from the same cloth in that one.
Yeah.
My team tolerates my crazy ideas all the time.
Yeah.
But you gotta get out there. You gotta start doing these things. Do you attribute a lot of your success to maybe networks a little bit? 'Cause it seems like you're very much out there, like going into people's offices and get an idea and stuff like that. Like, is networks, like, in just being around people and just going and doing the thing?
I don't know any different. All right.
Because I'm an introvert. So I'm like more, my normal state is home or home base, meaning my office, where I'm just like doing work all the time.
Yeah.
But I've been told so many times, like, you just have to be out there and going to the conferences, trade shows, going to the events and shaking hands, kissing babies, kind of just getting out there, just being in different networks and various diverse networks as well, not just like the same networks.
What do you like people?
What?
Do you like people?
No.
Generally not.
Well, no, I'm much more comfortable in my head.
You are.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, you're not like, you would rather just be alone?
Yes.
Okay. That's fair.
But like,
I think everybody feels that way though, right? Because when I walk into a room, like a trade show, for example, or any room, really, where I don't know people, I have fear.
Yeah.
I don't want to walk up to people and say, hi, I'm Jay.
The friction, right? So for me, it's like to just get in my car to go somewhere sometimes, I am like paralyzed. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I have to do this.
Yeah.
Because it's going to grow the business or whatever it might be. But I'm like, I don't want to necessarily go and walk through that door and like 50 people staring at me and being like, oh, Jason's here or something like that. Like,
so here's a secret, whether you know this or not.
What?
There's no difference between an introvert and an extrovert.
Oh, really?
I believe everybody has fear.
Yeah.
So your fear and my fear are the same.
Right.
It's just a matter of not even the will or it's just doing it, right? So it's not motivation. Anyway. You just literally have to do it. Yeah.
Well, that's what convinces me to do it every time. Is I just have to do it anyway. So it's like, and I think, my son falls into that habit sometimes as well because, he's very indecisive. Like, hey, do you want to do this or this? And he just like, I don't know. But because he sees no difference between them in his head, because either way, both of them cause friction. So he has that painful moment where he's just like, well, I have to choose one of them. So you just choose for me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, whatever. But same thing happens to me a lot where just like that friction of getting out of the house, getting to the car, getting dressed and like getting ready to go. And then finally, when I approach the place, I literally sit in my car for like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, to be like, deep breath, I got this.
Yeah.
I'll walk through this door.
Yeah. We're not different.
Yeah.
And it might seem like we are because you may fantasize that because, that.
Well, 3 days in New York City with clients would be a nightmare for me. I'm sure you had fun, but like, and I genuinely, I have this podcast. I genuinely like talking to people, especially one-on-one. Big groups, it's different. Like I can give a speech. I was also a professor at one point.
Yeah.
Like I'm happy to stand in front of a big group of people and give a speech or something like that. But like one-on-one I prefer one-on-one over a small group. That's my style.
Yeah. Well, that's what this was. This was maximum 4 people in one, right? Yeah. But that was the way I structured it. But I don't feel like that. I don't feel like there's a difference there, but it does beg the question, right? Nature or nurture. Mike Sapovitz took me to the racetrack from the time I was, 3-4 years old.
I do want to get into that. Yeah.
And we're walking through the grandstand and he knows everybody and it's, hey, Coach Sapp or hey, Mike or hey, and I'm watching my dad who's like the most social person ever in the world. And like, am I my father? Did that rub off on me?
Sure.
But then I put myself in these situations where when you talk about network, I could trace where I'm at today, sitting in this seat. I could draw a line for you to working at a dry cleaners across the street from UNLV, where I went to college.
Right.
And the people that I met there.
I do want to get into the stories because I think that's super fascinating because that's why I keep on going back to networks. And for people who are just starting out in their entrepreneurship journey, for instance, getting out there, going to the places, and you don't know who you're going to meet. A lot of this stuff just happens and it's going to happen whether, if you show up but you have to show up. That's the point, right? You have to actually be out there doing these things. So let's dive into that. So when you were younger, you were at racetracks. My grandfather would take me to the racetrack all the time.
Where did he take you?
He would take me up to all the New Hampshire ones.
Okay. Rockingham.
Yeah, Rockingham. But what was the other one?
Seabrook, the dog track.
So Seabrook dog track. I would be at the dog tracks with my grandfather a lot. And my dad would be there and they'd always be like, they have some kind of system.
Yeah.
All right, this is the way it's going to work.
System on figuring out which dog's going to run the fastest. Yeah. I felt like I had that too.
Yeah, everybody has their system. And it's smoke filled. There's no LEDs. It's smoke filled. And,
Jason, we used to vacation in Pownell, Vermont. We had a camper, a Jayco camper. My family every July 4th would go for 2 weeks. My dad was a school teacher and, remember the pop outs?
Yeah.
And, we would vacation there because they had Green Mountain Dog Track.
That's wild.
And they had at the betting windows, they had this yellow line and you couldn't go past the yellow line if you were under 18 years old.
Yeah, exactly. I remember that. So at Seabrook, when I would go, there were these stands and stuff like that. And it seemed to me like the coolest place in the world too.
Yeah.
Because it was like, there was just people and there's like glass wall and you can see the track and you can go outside and watch the dogs and stuff like that. And I was like, this is the biggest place I've ever been in, probably, when I was like, 7, 8, 10 years old, whatever. But when I think about those days, I still think about, I can hear my grandfather's voice in the back of my head and he's sipping on a bud. You know what I mean? Like, and I think he probably given up smoking at that point. I can't remember, because back then everybody smoked, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I still had his echo of his voice in my head. But back in those days, it's loud and there's a bunch of stuff happening. The lights, there was telecast, right? Because you'd have all the different races across the country up on the screens you could bet on too.
Yeah,
that fun stuff.
So I was before that time, but it eventually came. Yes. Yeah.
So tell me about that. So you're walking around and you're at the dog tracks. Like, were you interested from an early age to go down kind of like
I was interested in being with my dad from an early age. I was my dad's total on. And my dad had an exciting life that he also had a lot of angst. My dad was very angst filled in his existence.
He was like unfulfilled, or he didn't look.
Yeah, definitely. He was a school teacher. He's also a baseball coach, and he was an announcer. So those were the three buckets of my father's life. And then he was a horse and, gambler.
Yeah.
But not really a gambler, just kind of a horse player. He hated teaching after about 20 years because he taught in a really difficult, challenging school. And this is Chester High School outside of Philadelphia. The first school in Pennsylvania to have metal detectors on the doors in 1979. That's how rough of an area that he taught in. He also went to Chester High School. So the area obviously shifted on him relative to the safety of the community. And it's where we lived until I was about 6 or maybe 7 years old. We then moved out to even the suburb, the burbs of the burb, right?
Right.
Chester's right on the edge of the city, once thriving town, right next to, Scott Paper and big industry. And he went to Widener College, which was PMC military school when he was there in Chester. So he grew up in Chester, went to the college in Chester. He was a real talent, outside for sure. And he taught there. And my grandfather was a solicitor of the school. So he was, we were very into that community. He then became the baseball coach. And my grandmother would run me from an early age after school into my dad's practices. And then I would just come home with my dad, or we would go to the track that night. But I was just always a total on for my dad. Where he was unfulfilled was his dream was to be a racetrack announcer. And he gave that up to basically be a teacher, because once he had my sister and I, he needed a stable job and the steady income. So he suppressed his desire until he finally retired and then pursued it. And to his credit, he had a 25 plus year career as a racetrack announcer at various stops all across the country.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So he would go to different racetracks and do the announcing at those racetracks.
He had full-time gigs. I mean, he was the full-time announcer at Buffalo Raceway for a number of years, and he was the full-time announcer at Ocean Downs in Maryland. He moved out. He was the full-time announcer in Tucson Greyhound Park.
So, but your story also kind of goes down that path a little bit also.
Yeah, my story's crazy in that regard, because when my father started in the racetrack announcing business was literally parallel to when I got clean and sober from gambling, which was in March of 1997.
You had a gambling?
I had a gambling problem, yeah. I didn't gamble until I was 13 years old. So I would totally...
Not until 13, that ripe old age.
Well, listen, I mean, you're familiar with addiction. I mean, 13 it's neither early or late.
Right.
It's kind of like, it's just what it is, right?
What was your first thing you gambled on then?
I split a $1 show bet with I remember the kid's name, Steve Kenny, at Brandywine Racetrack. And we both put up $1 and bet a horse to show. And that was the first bet that I ever made at 13 years old.
Win?
Probably.
Well, that's the thing. Like how, because you get that first thrill of like, oh, that worked. Let me do it again kind of thing. Or
yeah, again, this is 13. This was 1984. Right. So then I went down the path of just excess. I'm a more button guy, right? I like to press the more button on everything I do. And, if one makes me feel good, how will 3 make me feel? Obviously there.
Yes.
So that was the theme. And at 16 years old, I convinced my parents, now mind you, this is 1987, 88, 87. And my best friend's brother went out to UNLV to go to a hospitality school, University of Nevada, Las Vegas. He and my best friend and I convinced our parents to allow us to go out and visit his brother.
At 16.
At 16, alone across the country and stay with him. I took $1,000 out to Vegas at 16 years old. I played my first hand of blackjack.
How did they even let you in? It was back then. It didn't.
I looked older. And you walk in with confidence. I mean, it's the same way you do it now.
But when you go to cash out, they're like, no, show I
didn't get that far. I played my first hand. It's okay. I played my first hand of blackjack at the Stardust Hotel and Casino. A $5 hand of blackjack. Mind you, I took $1,000 out there for 10 days. I was staying out there 10 days. I won. The security guard taps me on the shoulder. He says, "Young man, you're not old enough to play here." I should have stopped. That would have been the greatest gambling story ever.
Right.
I hit blackjack on my first hand. I won. I'm done.
Yeah, one and done.
Instead, I blow $900 the first day I'm out there and have to survive in Las Vegas for the next 9 days with $100 in my pocket. Right. Now, mind you, I told my parents I was going to go out there to visit the school.
Yeah.
Okay. Old Vegas, for those people who remember, the McCarran Airport used to open up right to where the campus of UNLV is. It was the only way in and the only way out. All right. From me to you is the airport to the campus. And I never stepped foot on the campus. And came home and told my parents how much I loved it. And it was the only place for me.
And then never even visited the campus. You're like, that's the place for me. Because it was right.
Are you kidding? It's a mile off the strip.
Yeah. So you got $900 that you spent. Did you go back to the start? Well, that you gambled. Did you go back to the Stardust and they kind of avoided security kind of thing?
No, I just went other places.
Other places that didn't have...
They looked the other way.
Yeah.
Man.
There's some loose morals out in Vegas, I've heard. That's where a lot of people are right now, by the way. They're in Vegas because of MJ Biz.
Yeah.
I'm not really a Vegas person.
You're not?
No, I'm not really a Vegas person.
So
I think we probably still like it though, right?
After I left Vegas,
well, tell me a little bit more. So you went to UNLV?
I went to UNLV.
Yeah.
So
what was your major?
Well, of course, it was hospitality, the great hospitality program.
Oh, because it's Vegas, right?
I went for hospitality. Quickly realized that wasn't the right. By the way, I'm probably one of the only compulsive gamblers you'll ever meet that's got a minor in casino gaming. So communications and casino gaming was my deal. And so I came home, I applied to one school, UNLV.
Yeah.
I got mono my senior year. While I'm sick in bed, I get a rejection letter. 2 weeks later, after I applied to one other school, I get another letter that said I got accepted. I told my parents, I said, please pay the deposit fast. I mean, I don't know what happened, but I first got rejected and then I got accepted. And I have no idea why to this day. But yeah, I ended up graduating. But UNLV changed my life, and it changed my life for the better, despite there being a ton of chaos during that time period.
Well, do you feel, was it like, since you didn't go to the campus originally when you said you were going to, you went through $900, had to last $100 for the next 9 days, you get in, rejected, then accepted, you go.
Yeah.
Are you immediately going to the casinos at that point, right when you get there kind of thing still? Or is it just, hey, I'm going to take a minute to go to college and do the college thing and... you're looking at me.
What do you think?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, I'm in a full-on blown addict mode. I'm like going to the casino.
Mentally, you're already, for sure. It's on.
100%.
Wow, that's wild. Yeah. I don't like...
Drop my bags in my dorm room to gamble, which, gambling, you need money, right? So that's the fuel that keeps you going.
Yeah. How'd you get the fuel?
Job.
Okay.
And I got a job. I didn't have a car, walked across the street and got a job at a dry cleaners called Steiner Cleaners. The owner, Vic Plasman, is like a father figure to me, took me under his wing. We had the best clients in the world at Steiner Cleaners. We did J.J. Walker, Dynamite, right? He did our commercials. Liberace, we cleaned Liberace's clothes.
Wow.
He
had some crazy clothes.
He had some crazy clothes. Robert Goulet would come into the shop. Vic was kind of like this older guy from Cleveland. Him and Wanda, like they just were the best people ever, like salt of the earth. And I mean, just took me under his wing. And I was always have been an incredibly hard worker, dedicated and loyal. I mean, a lot of who I am today is, who's who I was, right? Because I did watch my dad grind.
Yeah.
So yeah, I gambled every cent that I got. And
you get the paycheck and you go right to the casino.
Yes. However, there I met a guy by the name of Mark Ratner. Mark,
that sounds familiar.
He is the head of government affairs. I think he still is for UFC.
That's how I know the name. Yeah.
He owned the radio rights for the UNLV basketball team. And I was working on air as a radio talk show host and sports director at the campus radio station. So this is as a freshman.
That's what I was going to say. So you, again, with your father announcing, like you're like, okay, so you were part of the radio show for UNLV.
Yes.
Wow.
Mark hired me. There was a guy by the name of Mitch Halperin. All right. Mitch was a friend of my friend's brother, who was the radio producer engineer of, you understand, you host a podcast, somebody's got to get you on the air.
Yeah, 100%.
He was the guy who got them on the air. He was the radio producer engineer. He decided that he was going to become a boxing official.
Okay.
So he studied under a very famous referee named Richard Steele.
Yeah.
Turns out being a boxing official is, you've got to be deeply invested. These guys just don't walk into the ring.
No,
they're training
100%.
and working.
You get that wrong. There's a lot of money on the line. There's a lot of things happening.
So Mitch could not be the radio producer engineer anymore. Mark was a client at the dry cleaners. He knew I was in radio at the campus radio station. He asked me if I wanted to be the radio producer engineer. So in 89, 90, 90, 91, when UNLV had their great basketball teams with Larry Johnson and Stacey Augman and Greg Anthony and
Larry Johnson,
I was traveling with the team as the radio producer engineer at 18 and 19 years old.
That's insane. So, but and again, I think of that, and the background of that is being, you're a student at UNLV and you have a gambling addiction.
Yes.
And you're flying across the country or whatever, as well, for these big high profile games.
Okay.
Did that probably didn't help the addiction in any way, I'm assuming.
I mean, we land in Detroit. We're playing Michigan State on Saturday, and we land on, I think, Thursday night. And the first thing I did is go to Northville Downs with two members of the media that were on the plane to cover the game. I mean, I didn't have any responsibility for the team until game day.
Right.
And then I had tons. Get the broadcast on the air. Like you couldn't mess up for 3 hours.
Right. But other than that, you were free.
Other than that, I was free.
Right.
So like here I am flying around. Like we can go to New Mexico State and you land in Texas, El Paso, and drive across to Las Cruces, New Mexico. Well, what's in between? Sunland Racetrack. I'm going to miss an opportunity to go to Sunland Park.
Yeah.
So just crazy stuff like that around the country.
Yeah.
While I'm also in a very big time environment. I mean, these guys, first off, the players love me, right?
Yeah.
Think about it. I'm not a big guy.
Yeah.
And they're flying. Like Larry used to pull me to his side all the time, and he'd be like, "Sap, sit with me." Right? I used to think he liked me. By the way, he did. We were friends, but he wanted a guy my size to sit next to him instead of a guy 6'5".
Right, exactly. He was like, "There's more space if you sit next to me."
100%. He'd come right in. Like, I'm not going to tell Larry Johnson he can't take up most of my seat. I'm small.
Right.
So
So going to that though, at the end of your stint of your college career.
Yeah.
Did it end? You graduated and all that stuff, and
Graduated, ended up working a year out in Vegas.
okay, with
And then,
announcing stuff or
yeah, I was a radio
management.
No, I was in radio. I was part of a sports network, and then that network went under, and I lost some pay out of that because they defaulted on some stuff, and I sort of left Vegas like many do with my tail between my legs and moved back to Philadelphia. But I had worked with somebody who had gotten a job on the #1 radio station for sports and guy talk in the country, WIP.
So sports is coming back through your life like over and over again.
Yeah.
So,
and he introduced me to the program director there. And then I became an on-air talk show host in Philadelphia at 23 years old, which was the town that I grew up in. So you can imagine, right? I'm on
high profile now too.
Super high profile, right? But I'm still a maniac going crazy with gambling. So like I'm living this life where I've got tons of fame is relative,
Yeah, of course.
but fame.
Yeah, localized fame. Yeah.
Localized fame. I'm a sports talk show host on the #1 station in the town in Philly, talking about the Phillies and the Eagles.
Right.
I mean, for heaven's sake, like people knew my name
Right.
that were in that world.
Right.
And I'm like going nuts. And I'm living at home with my parents, making no money, broke and in debt. How you doing?
You left Vegas without
I left
anything, with potentially debt even.
without anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how do you think people leave Vegas, Jason?
Happy and rich.
No, it's nobody ends up. Listen, some people do. Obviously, everybody has that situation.
But that's what I think when I think of like MJ Biz, kind of those big conference trade shows and stuff like that. And you go to Vegas, and it's like, it's funny because people are like, "Oh, why did you go to MJ BizCon?" And I'm like, "Well, Vegas isn't really my thing." But it's also the fact that like when I do business, I'm doing business in the Northeast primarily, like Massachusetts primarily. On top of that, like Vegas doesn't really offer anything for like a Massachusetts operator, in my opinion. So I don't know why anybody from Massachusetts would go, but maybe they have people have reasons with expansion. Maybe you're going to go West Coast, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But if I'm leaving Vegas, it's usually because I have a smile on my face and going home.
Yeah, understood. Yeah. Well, people go to Vegas for Vegas too.
Yeah, exactly.
Understood. So yeah,
I'm not a gambling person. That's the thing.
Totally.
I will throw some stuff down. I had a little system at one point, made some money, and I just never did it again. I was like, I'm up. Stop.
Yeah.
I didn't have that switch in my head that was like, keep on going.
So I got clean eventually. I was 25 years old when I entered recovery and got clean and sober from gambling.
Are there like groups for that?
Yes.
Did you have to go to a group for that?
I would have to, but I did.
Right. So what was the breaking point? You just were broke and you were just not happy about it?
I knew from the time I was young that I had a problem. Most people do. Like if you have a problem, sure. And you repress it. Yeah. You make excuses. You think about it. You're like, I'm 19 years old. I'm driving to the casino. I got $10 in my pocket. And I'm telling myself, dude, what are you doing? Like you got $10 in your pocket. You don't have rent money. You're not getting paid for another 4 days. Food's low at the house. Of course. I mean, do you lie to yourself when you're alone? Like you said, you're in your head. Like you tell you the truth.
Yeah, 100%.
So
I stare at myself in the mirror sometimes and tell myself, I think I got this tip from somebody, I can't remember who it was, but they were like, if you stare at yourself in the mirror and talk to the mirror, you can't lie to yourself.
Correct.
I mean, you could, but like, that's the
you
point.
can lie to yourself. You can't lie to yourself, right? Words come out of your mouth, but it doesn't mean that you take action against those words. So I didn't take action against those words until the breaking point for me was I had met my eventual wife and I was just tired.
Yeah.
I was tired and done.
Yeah.
And I had reached my limit. And she basically said to me, there's this notion that you can't get clean for somebody else. I've heard that said a lot in rooms. I don't believe that. She basically said to me, this is not going to be my life.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm a loser. She's awesome. I don't think anybody will ever love me. If I don't make a change,
right,
then what?
Right.
And I just then and there got the courage to make a change. And then slowly but surely dug my way out of the hole that I had spent the better part of 12 years digging myself into.
So it was a 12 years.
Yeah, 13 to 25. Yeah.
And then did you end up relapsing at all? Any of that? No, just
Listen, I mean, I've not made a bet since March 6, 1997, but I think of relapse in terms of gambling. No. In terms of life and thinking, I've definitely had periods where my behavior has been more sober and right than wrong.
let's dive into that. What do you mean by that? So 25 year.
Yeah, well,
so you're sobering up.
Yeah.
You're basically saying
a lot of sobriety, Jason, comes down to ego suppression, right? And not playing God, and not thinking. I don't want to get too into religion because it's not I'm not necessarily religious, more spiritual, but thinking the universe centers around me, right?
Right.
Ego. Everything's about Jane.
Main character is what they call it nowadays.
Main character, right? Okay. Yeah. So there's been time. So my career arc, if you look at it, is like up and to the right fast. I only had success from the time travel with the UNLV. I mean, I'll just take you through it if you don't mind. Real quick, I'll give you it. Travel with the UNLV basketball team at 18 and 19 years old.
Yeah.
Right. Super ego based. I mean, I'm with celebrity after celebrity after celebrity you can imagine. All right. Parking cars on the Las Vegas Strip, graduate college. I'm on multiple sports radio networks. I'm doing live shots from the Kentucky Derby for multiple channels. I do a show for the Daily Racing Forum at 22 years old. I get hired at WIP, top radio station, at 23 years old, right? I'm only going up. At 25, I decide to get clean. I become a sales manager at a golf course. Within 2 years, I create a special event to the PGA Tour for a professional golfer named Jim Furyk. That business goes crazy. I sell it. I start with a company at 29 years old called Marquis Jet. We go from $0 to $1 billion in 4 years. Right?
0 to $1 billion.
0 to $1 billion. I'm selling private jets. So now, timeline. I'm in radio, pro golf, and private jets. And in 7 years, I'm touching $1 billion company.
That's insane.
Okay.
What do you credit that to, though? Like, again, is it being in the right rooms? Is it your personality of being out there all the like what? So going from those things, there must be some kind of connection, or maybe there's not. I don't know. I'm stretching maybe, but because I feel like there's a lot of people who maybe get opportunities put at them. Sometimes they say no to them, and sometimes they say yes to them. But they're also potentially maybe that over the next 2-3 years, it's hard for them to make a switch because it almost seems like you're starting over almost every time, but it's endless, but it's still.
I have endless creativity and curiosity to see gaps in marketplaces is the consistent theme.
Do you think that's kind of like your gambling angle too?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it in terms of gambling.
Because people always have, like we talk about, sometimes I got this system.
I'm not risk averse. We know that.
Exactly. Right.
So that all happens.
But I want to talk about Marquis Jet, by the way. Like, how did that even happen?
If you're into cannabis, entrepreneurship, or just like hearing from people who actually build things, check out High Functioning. It's real talk with founders, operators, and big thinkers. No fluff, just game. New episodes drop every Friday, and you can subscribe and listen at highfunctioning.show. All right, let's get back to the show.
Because you run a golf.
So how it happened was Jim Furyk's agent, who has remained a great friend of mine to this day, business associate and friend, introduced me to the guy who was the founder of Marquis Jet, which was Ken Dichter. Obviously, Ken Dichter and Jesse Itzler started Marquis.
Yeah.
Right.
Jesse Itzler, he's like an influencer now kind of thing, but he does a lot of things.
Yeah. But he was the co-founder of Marquis Jet.
Yeah.
Right. With Kenny. And Andrew introduced me to Kenny. I was looking to get up to Boston because my wife is from Natick. And we were living in Philadelphia at the time, and she had put me on a timer. And literally,
timer was clicking.
Timer was out.
Yeah,
she's ready to move back and be with her mom and her family. And we had our daughter, and she wanted to raise her family next to the grandparents.
Yeah, that's usually what happens.
Kenny said to me, "I can get you back closer to Boston, but I can't get you to Boston. I'll get you to New York." Amy and I decided we'll take it, and just to be a sales guy, right? So I went from I sold the Exelon, and that was the name of the golf tournament. And we decided that we were going to move up to Connecticut, and I was going to run a territory as a sales guy for Marquis Jet. I was a top 15 employee at the company. Like I was employee number 13 or 14, something like that. Yeah. 2 weeks, 3 weeks go by. Kenny calls me and said, hey, he goes, I'm thinking about hiring a chairman of the company. I want you to go meet him. And I know you're going to start with us, but make him think that he's going to hire you. And no problem. So I call him up. You want to talk about opportunity? He said, it's like a Thursday at, I don't know, I want to say 6 o'clock, late.
Yeah.
And he's like, when can you be up here? I'm living 30, 45 minutes south of Philadelphia at the time. I call him from my office, which at the time was in Trenton, New Jersey. I said, I could be up this weekend. He goes, why don't you meet me for breakfast tomorrow at 6 a.m.? 12 hours.
Yeah.
I called my wife and I said, a girlfriend at the time? No, it's my wife. Sorry. Just crazy timeline. Girlfriend at the time. Let's call my wife, Amy. I said, let's go up to the Cape this weekend. I drive up there and meet him.
Yeah.
At 6 a.m. in Hingham, of all places.
Hingham. Yeah.
He's like, I cannot believe you made it.
But that's what you do.
That's what I do.
You show up.
I show up.
Yeah. And I think that goes to a lot of your credit for some of your success, or a lot of your successes showing up. And I think that keeps on going back to that same, it's the networks, of course, and friends and groups and stuff like that. But showing up and being there, being present, and actually sometimes what, a lot of entrepreneurs are like this, but it definitely resonates with me as well, because sometimes you just put yourself in opportunities that you're like, I always call it a future Jason problem.
Yeah.
Like future Jason's got to figure that out, because I think this is generally the right move to do. And I'm just going to take this big risk. I'm going to leap. I'm going to jump off this big cliff.
Well, a lot of it doesn't ever come true.
Yeah, exactly. It's mostly, and that's why I think a lot
you've learned that over time.
Yeah, because a lot of people will be like, all this anxiety in their back of their heads, like, oh, what's going to happen? Do I have a parachute? Do I not have a parachute? And now I'm just like, oh, jump. And I don't think twice about it. And then future Jason has to figure out the rest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you make that trip.
I make that trip. We move up to Boston. I open the Boston office with Bill Aller at Marquis Jet. And the first 6 months were really, really challenging and difficult because we didn't, we were
fractional jets, right?
It was, we were leasing jet time from NetJets and reselling it in 25-hour blocks of time. And I was covering New England.
Yeah.
And I'm not from New England. And if you know anything about New England, if you're not from New England and you're covering New England, you might as well,
you gotta be careful of that.
I mean, you might as well wear a scarlet letter, right? You didn't go to BC High. You're not a Apple Eagle, and, you weren't born, whatever. Anyway, they transfer me to Chicago, bring in somebody who was going to run New England from New England, which was the right move for everybody. I spend 4 years on a plane every Tuesday to Thursday in the Midwest. And I covered the Midwest. I covered and grew my own personal book of business to almost 8 figures. It was the number 3 consistent sales guy at the company for almost 5 years, 4.5 years. So it was LA first, LA and New York were 1, 2, and I was 3. And that's how that happened.
And that business no longer exists. I think I got acquired
by NetJets. Yeah.
What?
But I left.
Okay.
Long before it acquired, which is back to the story of the sobriety, and you asked about relapse.
Yeah.
My ego got out of control.
It's $0 billion to do that.
$0 billion, but look at the other success I had. It's not like I started a golf tournament from nothing into a phenomena inside of a region, right? With a professional golfer.
Right.
I had, an exit. I had a child. I had like J. Everything is, and then Marquis success was all me.
Piled on top of it, yeah.
And it just piled on top, and I got so full of ego that I thought I could repeat it at anything that I did. And I left Marquis in correct. So when we talk about sobriety, I think through sobriety in terms of my ego and my emotion now, not substances.
Right.
Because the substances are gone, right? I'm not gambling.
Right.
I'm not betting anything.
Right.
But I'm so absorbed with self and I'm so absorbed with me that I don't even care about you. And I leave create a business in '06. And you can imagine, '06 to '09, what that period of my life was like, because two things were true. One is I had an amazing idea with great timing, I had an amazing idea with awful timing, excuse me, and I wasn't good enough to navigate through a financial crisis and disaster.
What was the idea?
I mean, it was basically Airbnb at the time Airbnb was launched. It was me versus them.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Except I was on the luxury side of the space because, I'm in the luxury world.
Right.
I'm in the
You're talking about
business.
fractional jets. You're having 25-hour blocks.
Yeah. So, you get real true with yourself about ego when you're sitting at a steel case desk telling people that you're going out of business, and it's very humiliating in your friend group and your local group and your family. And it's just in general, it's a sad period of time. Forget the money loss. The money loss is painful.
Right.
But the ego loss is right. But I needed that to get to the next level. My buddy gave me the job in the golf course to come back to it.
So that was the golf courses right after that.
Right after that, it was like a recovery job, which we made it like, it gave me confidence. And
yeah, because that is, in my case, I am driven still, in a sense, by fear, failure.
Yeah.
Because if I don't want to let anybody down.
Yeah.
Because everybody sees me as this big, entrepreneur and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, what if I fail?
Yeah.
Like all of that. And then all of a sudden it's going to be like, oh, and they wouldn't think these things, of course. They'd be like, oh, it's just Jason or whatever. But like, I still feel in the back of my head that fear of failure that drives me to push every single day further and further and further.
Jason, I have people who refer to that time in my life as great success.
Right.
And I'm like, what? Like they look back on it in a way that I don't.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. 100%. From my perspective, it may be failure, but from other external perspective, wow, you grow a great company here.
Totally.
And it did fail, but whatever.
So it's just crazy because I look at that period in a way that that's different.
Right.
But coming out of that golf business, I got asked to join a villa rental company that specialized in St. Bart's, did 80% of the business of St. Bart's villa rentals, and ended up spending 2 years on St. Bart. I mean, you talk about the charmed life of Jay Sapowitz.
That's pretty sweet.
I mean, it's crazy, right? Private jets, pro golf. And now I spend 2 years on St. Bart's building a villa rental business.
Sounds dreamy.
I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah, I know, right?
Come out of that world, and then get back together with Kenny on the fitness idea, and then pivot to fitness.
How long is the fitness idea for?
About 3 years.
3 years. Oh, wow. So you really did stick it out. It's not just a 3-month thing.
Oh, no.
It was 3 years. You had clients and
we grinded.
Yeah.
We grinded.
And at what point were you like, this is not the right idea?
So
was there a specific moment in time that...
Tell you exactly the moment I knew. I'll tell you exactly the moment I knew. I remember it like it was yesterday. We had taken in a massive order for holiday from Kohl's and shipped tens of thousands of yoga mats across the country in self-displays. You go to the stores and you'd see the
mannequin with the yoga.
Not the mannequin, but in Christmas time, the middle of the stores are all jammed with pallets.
Stuff it all there. Yeah.
Right. Got a call from a buddy of mine in South Carolina. He goes, hey buddy, just saw your yoga mat in Kohl's. He goes, keep up the good work. I said, yeah, that'd be a great story had we not shipped it to him 12 months ago.
They were just sitting there. Yeah. Yeah.
Done.
You were like, that's a problem. Yeah.
I mean, how do you get reorders when the product doesn't move?
It doesn't.
You don't. Yeah. Right? So it's great to sell Kohl's.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, we got Kohl's.
Yeah, we got
celebrated.
We got Walmart.com. We're on Amazon.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, awesome.
Right, exactly.
Like those are great when you're establishing a business.
Right.
But
you sustain it. Yeah.
Listen, move product or you're gone.
The two ways we always say that internally are the first order is the easy one. The second order is the one that really sustains.
Of course it is.
Because you can get a great salesman can get that first order.
Yes.
But if it doesn't move up, so the second part of it is we run really like a pull type business versus a push. So people can push product into stores. That's one way of doing things. But in our world, it's pull, meaning if the consumer isn't taking it off the shelf and buying these things, you're never getting that reorder, and the buyers don't care about you. They'll never pick up the phone basically again.
Yeah.
Because you brought them once. It takes you years to get back into a store.
That is not a story I'm unfamiliar with. And it is exactly why we put a bullet in the fitness side of the business.
So then apparel. So because I need to understand the apparel business better, because I still think of it as a commoditized business. You're saying service is the way to...
Jason.
Yeah.
You just heard my story.
Yeah.
You just got a feeling, you know me, but you know my story and you know who I am. Mm-hmm. You can tell me that buying apparel from me is commoditized compared to buying apparel from somebody else, knowing my story. You just said my story is showing up.
Right.
So don't you want to do business with people who show up?
100%.
I mean, you have ingredients in your product,
yes.
Right? And chances are there's more than one outlet for you to get.
100%. We have a various number of suppliers.
Right. Aren't there suppliers that you go to over other suppliers because of the way those suppliers treat you?
Yeah, sometimes. Most of the time. Yeah, most of the time, because it really does come down to the service. Because if they're not picking up the phone for us, if they get back to us really slow, like that's a huge pet peeve. We move fast here. We're so agile. We're changing things constantly. We're constantly moving. And, sometimes, it just happened the other day. We're out of stock in one of our products right now. And we've been waiting on labels. And my director of production has been constantly emailing them, calling them. Can we get them faster? Can we get them faster? We've been out of stock. Can we please get them faster? Out of stock due to our own issue.
Mm-hmm.
But we have demands of our vendors. But we're trying. Yeah. And some people will come through and some people respond and they'll be like, I got your back. And some people are like, sorry, you're just like a small fish to us, like whatever.
Right. But that makes that product not a commodity.
Right. Exactly. So
that's my point about the apparel business is, my clients know that if you had someone like that wasn't me and that was super special to you, that was coming in here and you knew that they liked a certain thing that you wanted to have embroidered and you didn't remember it until Thursday and they were coming in on Friday.
Yeah.
You have someone that you can call that's going to say yes to you. Nothing in this world, when it's truly broken down into need, is a commodity. Nothing. So that's how I've made my business. Having said that, 4imprint is a $2 billion business.
They're huge. We get their catalogs all the time.
And I'm not.
Right.
So again,
they have better service then.
I don't think they have better service. They just have a great online mousetrap. And they've gone, first off, they're old, 25.
Well, I was going to say, a lot of this stuff is about longevity, right?
For sure. Yeah. You do
just
more
get
business.
Pounds.
100% it does. But so I'm fine with them existing because I know what they are. And I share with clients all the time that if you want to order there, you're going to get a select group of products that they feed you, that they warehouse, that they make margin on, that they disqualify us relative to some margin on those items. But if you want someone to discuss your ICP and look out for, try to have a conversation about return on investment of an event by giving away, something versus something else. If you want to hand out koozies, people buy koozies from me, but you really can buy them from anybody.
Right.
So there's nothing special. My special talent regarding koozies is talking you out of giving them away.
Interesting.
Or providing you options to give away one that's unique, interesting, or different compared to something normal.
Yeah, and I feel like quiz is a good example because it is one of those things where it's almost like a throwaway sometimes, just like thanks, and it's just like not really impactful. It's like I've got like 7 koozies in my cabinet right now that I've probably used once.
You have $1. How are you going to spend it?
Right, exactly. So
I try to help you spend it the best.
So it's $1. How do we spend it most effectively? And so those conversations is where you kind of excel, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. So, because at the end of the, it's primarily promotional stuff. Is that what it really all comes down to at this type of business? It's mostly promotion, right? It's really just like, even if
you're always promoting to somebody,
right?
So you're either promoting internally to your employees, or
it doesn't matter with the Good Vibes hoodie or whatever. Yes. It's like, I wear it and I'm promoting still, doesn't matter where I go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when it comes to like your, the actual breakdown of things, is it primarily shirts, hoodies, things like that, hats, like?
Yeah, like we're still mostly apparel. But obviously, we do promotional products as well.
Right.
For trade shows and events, but apparel is really the big chunk of.
Is it cyclical? And it changes, you say. So embroidered stuff
isn't cyclical. I mean, the fourth quarter is always busier.
Yeah.
But I've never, as an in my thinking, right? My business isn't big enough to fall into the trap. It's big, but it's not big enough to fall into the trap of saying we're cyclical. If you want June and July to be busier, just call more people or find more customers, right? So I think that entrepreneurs get caught thinking in terms of cycles.
When they're so small, it doesn't matter at all. Right?
No,
exactly.
Just do more than you did last
month. Yeah. And make 10 calls, make 20 calls or whatever.
That's it. I mean, you don't have I didn't have the luxury when I was scaling the business to where we're at to do less in June because I did more in May. Like I couldn't have a down month. I had to have an up month.
Right.
So what am I? Okay, July's harder. I know July's going to be harder, so I have to work harder in May and June to even out. You can't do it in July.
Right.
You're done in July.
Right.
July's done in May and June.
Yeah.
So you better get that done so you can drip down to what you need to.
Yeah, and I think that happens all the time with startup guys or gals that are just like they either won't put the extra effort in and they'll be like, why are my sales down or whatever? And it's just like there are some ebbs and flows with any business. Startups are super up and down, super bumpy ride, especially with top line revenue. So a lot of that stuff comes back to longevity, being in the market. Like if you're if you didn't quit, you're still in it kind of thing. You know what I mean? As long as you continue to go every day and show up and make those phone calls or make more phone calls or whatever you need to do, outlasting is a really great strategy, in my opinion. That's happened, at least in my previous exits as well. As long as we outlast them and we provide a great service or valued product, people will continue to purchase it and will grow it and compound over years. Do you want to be the 4 imprint size?
No.
What's your ideal size? Where do you think you need to go?
I like where we're at now. I've always been a controlled growth person. I'm not, I haven't.
Did you raise for this, or you had friends and family, or just more?
No, we pivoted from the fitness business. We did raise, but it's
so there's a cap table attached to it.
There is. That's obviously changed over the years as the idea changed over the years, right?
Things change.
Different stakes. But yeah, we didn't take anybody out because, we gave everybody a clean, some run, if you will, right? To do the right thing.
Right.
I've always been about the right thing there and wouldn't want to not do that.
Right.
But yeah, what size do we want to be? I mean, we had a great year this year. We grew significantly.
Like 5 million?
Yeah.
Nice. Big number.
Yeah. Plus or minus 100.
Yeah.
That's it. We'll see. But like right there, close enough.
Yeah,
I used to hang my hat on those types of things.
Yeah.
I don't now.
Right.
Like I once had it said to me, like, if you have $100 million opportunity and you do 50 million, you didn't have as good a year as if you had a $2 million opportunity and you did 2 million.
Right. Exactly.
So
you
obviously you make the most of it.
Yeah.
And I thought this year we had we get industry stats and we've beaten the industry stats every month, right? So if the industry was up 3% in January, we beat it. Right. If the industry was up 7% in the first quarter, we beat it.
I feel that's easier with the smaller company though, to be fair. You know what I mean?
It is and it isn't. I mean, we're a smaller company, which also means we have less resources to.
That's true. Yeah, resources, everything.
So there's like, it's give and take because I'm constantly saying to myself, like, oh, if we could get to, and to your point, what do we want to be? Mm-hmm. I used to say, if we could get to where we're at, we'd be made in the shade. Guess what?
The goalpost moved again.
Yeah. So you just keep,
of
course, you just keep moving the goalpost and, Truth is, like, I think we're able to take care of our folks that we have that have been with us a long time, and we have a great work-life balance and work style, and we have the right clients that are very, that are great with us.
What's your ideal client right now?
Yeah, our ideal client is a business between 50 and 1,000 employees.
And you actually do this based on employees, because we're a product, right? We're a brand company. So since our products are in stores and campus stores, which have a whole nother level of restrictions against what you can and can't do, advertising, et cetera, in promotion, we're only like 15 people here.
But you're different, right? Because your founder philosophy is steeped in merch and sweat.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because
it's not always.
You're doing an employee count. Is it because you're talking about like employee uniforms?
I'm talking about online stores.
Oh, okay.
That are like, we don't have contracts with our clients, right? Anybody can leave us anytime.
Right.
But the online store provides a stickiness, which is an implied contract that the company.
Who built that store?
Well,
internal resources, external.
We build them all. Yeah.
No, but the original foundation, is that like
it's a third party that we've used. Yeah, we've operated our entire company.
I love to improve that for you.
Yeah.
Because we have a software team here, and we're always just like, all right, how can we embed this deeper into our website and stuff like that?
Yeah.
It's a third party program.
It's funny that you say that, because, we have looked, believe me, I've looked at everything that's out there on the marketplace. The challenge with the other solutions that are out there is cost. Yeah. So we don't charge our clients to build, host, manage, or fulfill the on-demand stores. Zero. Nothing on a monthly basis. That's unusual for the market.
And there's no contract attached to it either.
And there's no contract attached to it. So we have, at any time, we might have 500 to 600 stores live, but 300 to 400 of them are active, and 100 or 200 of them may not be active. Maybe you're seasonal or whatever the case might be. If we went to a cost model, that goes away.
Well, because the value add of having the store, is that stickiness.
Correct.
Right.
And it gives me the reason and my team the reason and kind of shortcut to be able to call them and say, hey, we have your online store. How can we help you? So
I feel like that store could be rebuilt. That third party software could literally be rebuilt in a day. But I've been programming for
I wonder though, here's what I wonder when you look at our stores. Our stores are very simple and clean because they're internal corporate stores. I wonder if when you look at them, you're looking at them through the eyes of someone who's retail facing.
No.
You're not.
No, because I'm 25 plus years in technology. I've built financial trading platforms.
Where is it you think that the biggest improvement on the stores could be?
User experience. The UX. UI is cleanish.
Yeah.
UI could definitely be improved. The user experience, and also the idea of actually being able to embed it into a website correctly.
That is the biggest issue. I was
going to say, a lot of people probably bring that to you. Because, hey, I don't want to go off to a separate website to do all these things. Can we just embed it on our existing website? Yeah. But on our team, since we have software engineers, we always say, like, give me the API.
Yep.
And we'll just build our own UI.
Yeah.
And user experience. Because if you do one size fits all, it usually fits none.
Yeah.
So that's the hard part. So for us, it's like we would just strip it all down and rebuild it all. And it would take longer than a day, but I'm talking about the back end side of it, like the actual infrastructure that you're attaching to.
Yeah.
It literally could be rebuilt in a day. And these places probably charge egregious fees for these things. Like you said, the software itself is just like, you'd have to charge people in order to get the store if you had to use this other platforms.
I'd be interested in talking to you about that offline, because we have a software engineer that we've hired full time. We've redone our website, a public facing website, to actually be more catalog based, to take orders online as well, but also show more of our products. We've added AI functionality to it, which gives people some freedom to think through and
some of the simple things a software engineer potentially might look at, and we can take this offline, but is the idea of either Shopify integration or WooCommerce integration.
Boy, the cost to do Shopify though think about 400 stores
on integration. So it's up to the store themselves to just add your plugin that supplies their whole merch onto the store. So it's almost like
interesting
drop shipping in that sense, where it's just like it's their store, they style it, and they pay Shopify all the fees or whatever, and you're your plugin, your little extension to Shopify just powers the back end kind of system. Again, it's all done through APIs.
Right. But they have cost. The client has cost.
Yes, the client has cost, but that's up to them to if they want to go down that path. Right. And again,
that's the challenge that we've had is we want the control and not to have cost. And they don't want cost. You'd be shocked.
No, of course. And for it, you're talking 50 to 1,000 people, right?
You'd be surprised at how many people come to us because we're not hitting them for $99 a month.
Yeah, that's true. I can't stand that stuff. And that's actually one of the things that I do appreciate that about that platform is we're not getting charged for it. But I will say that, that happens often. And we're actually in a debate right now with a website rebuild that we're doing where they're trying to force us to do this hosting thing. And we're just like, no, we're software guys. Like, just give us the code. We'll go host it ourselves. And we just want to modify it, have the freedom to do whatever we want in the future. But they're like, no, but in the agreement, it says that we have to host it for you. And I'm like, well, just give me the code. We bought the code. We spent all this money, thousands and thousands of dollars. Just give us the code and we'll go host it ourselves. Don't worry about it. Like, you don't have to take that cost on. Well, what's it to you? Like $100, $150 a month? Like, do you care that much about it that you won't let us just have the code so we can do it ourselves? You know what I mean? So we're actually having that debate right now. I'm not going to mention any names. So I don't want to blow up their spot.
Yeah.
But anyway, so getting back to, I guess, the future here, back to the future, we're talking about next steps for Inked, not a tattoo shop. So, like, are there other pivots that you're looking at right now? Or not full on pivot, but any other product kind of like focus areas that you're thinking about? What's happening? What's the future? What promotional items are really popping right now? Yeah, we got to get into that space.
I think the future for us is, I think we are always looking to figure out how to get deeper and service our clients better, right? So that's a real challenge.
Customer service.
It's huge.
I don't know how many times I can tell it to my it's huge.
Customer service, thousands of clients.
Yeah.
You have how many clients? Do you have? You have a lot of clients.
Well, the universe of cannabis, our buyers are our customers, our stores are our customers, right? So we have end consumers, but the customer is technically the
buyer is the store.
But there's only 400 in Massachusetts.
So you have 400.
But we might only want to be in 300. We'll say it that way.
That's a lot. Yeah. 300 is a lot.
Yeah.
Right. And if,
never mind an e-commerce site. That's a whole other.
Again, it's like, so you have a lot of clients and you have to figure out how to be involved with them, not be over involved with them, suggestive towards them. So client services is a big area to focus on. It's really hard to find people. And then solutions, right? Is it AI?
Right. Are you doing human versus AI?
So all that, offshore, not offshore. So that's a challenge that we need to continue to address, which we have and are getting better at it, which is why we grew. And then, the second piece is really what I mentioned, which is we completely blew up our website, which was like this static.
Yeah.
We do web stores, corporate-y site where lead magnet, different lead pages to an online catalog. And that was in response to a few things. One is people don't want to talk to salespeople.
Yeah.
They think they know better. So they buy from someone else because they can't find it on our site. That's A. And B is the number one question we get asked is, what products do you have? So if you're asking me what products we have, like, okay, go to the store and say.
Yeah, there's thousands. I've been on that.
I mean, it's endless, right?
Endless amount of.
And where, again, I believe our value comes in is like, it's not in the products themselves. It's in the ideas and the concepts around the products that you probably would never, ever see.
Yeah, but within a specific category like t-shirts, there's 1,000 different t-shirts. Like, what makes the most sense for this particular scenario, right? There's ways. There's different situations, or D2G versus screen printing or whatever, right? So there's a lot of that stuff has to be walked through, and I feel like there's really not a substitute for that, because I think a lot of people think to themselves, "Oh, I know what I want. I just want a t-shirt." They'll go to the lowest cost t-shirt website they'll find, throw their logo on it. They'll order 100. They're like, "Oh, it's not that great."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, "Oh, that stinks."
Yeah.
They spent all this money on something that's an inferior product where they could have spent me a little bit more money and had a conversation and then got something better.
I mean, barely a little bit more money. Again, those are.
I mean, I just had a big promotion, 10 million shirt.
Our millionth
shirt.
Yeah.
You did this big promo. I think it was like $3, $3.50 a shirt or something like that, right?
Quality t-shirt. Yeah. And we sold them at $3 a piece to celebrate our millionth t-shirt.
Yeah.
And by the way, I mean, I'm constantly, my staff teases me because I'm always on the closeout list of my various our suppliers have closeouts.
Oh, so you can pick up a bunch of like inks and stuff like that.
Not inks.
Or shirts.
Promo products.
Ah.
Shirts. Right?
Yeah.
I'll give you an example.
Here, give me an example here.
Okay.
How's this work?
I dropped off some swag to you when I saw you. You know, I walked into your shop and I dropped off
a whole bag of swag. Yeah.
Right. Swag, I can't show up without swag.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
My cost on those pieces that I dropped off to you are just under $30.
Okay.
My cost.
Yeah.
That's how nice those sweatshirts are that I just dropped off to you.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
What do you think I paid?
I have no clue. I don't know. Like,
You're not going to guess?
You probably paid 15
or $2.
$2?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Why? You know why?
Is it closed out?
No. Yes. No. Because I've got color and size flexibility and style flexibility.
Okay.
Right. So if you come to me and you say to me, Jay, I don't need the
tie-dye,
specialty tie-dye hoodie, but you say to me, like, I got $3,000, make it work.
Right.
Right. You've got to trust. I'm going to come back to you and say, okay, I've got red, green, blue. If your brand doesn't have color specificity, and I think companies get locked in, like they're Coca-Cola, for goodness sake. Like Coke's got to be red.
The specific Pantone color has to.
I mean, give me a break. Like, take a breath. Yeah. Like, so sorry to tell you that you're going to be wearing such an inexpensive piece of clothing, but it's not.
Right.
It's a first run. It's gorgeous. So I shop a lot of closeouts.
That's why.
I buy a lot of liquidations. I mean, so I do that because I try to open up opportunities for people who are willing to listen and have a conversation.
Yeah, because you're like, I've got these, they're at a good cost. So I'm going to obviously pass some of that savings down to you. And so if and you need 1,000 of them, here you go. Like, I got this. Yeah. My inventory. And so like your warehouse must be huge then if you're always buying these closeouts.
I mean, the other thing we do is we warehouse on behalf of our clients at no cost.
So you can print them and store them.
Print them, store them.
Need them, you just ship them out to them.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a really great service.
We take inventory back from clients and put it in our warehouse from trade shows and events. Store at no cost, no handling fees to bring stuff back in, no handling fees on kits or welcome boxes, any of that stuff. My general philosophy is I try to do business with people the way I want business done with me. And there is nothing that aggravates me more, I self-edit, than being nickel and dimed.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
So I don't nickel and dime people.
Right.
Our drop ships are $14, right?
Right.
Sometimes they cost me $16. Sometimes they cost me $11.
Right.
Don't break my chops.
Dude, I hate shipping is just a nightmare.
Well, shipping's terrible. It's the bane of my existence.
It is so horrible.
But I have just quantified it.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of people who don't love it. And they tell me like, oh, we're not going to use you because of the shipping costs.
Yeah.
So they're going to use somebody else where they're going to embed shipping into the price of the product.
Yeah.
And then the person who buys 4 products from them gets screwed because the shipping costs embedded as if they only bought one.
Right.
And the person who buys one, here's what it is. Everybody hates it. Yeah. What can you do?
Shipping is notoriously a hated thing. It's insane because on our e-commerce site, we pay a lot for shipping because we have liquid drinks, water, 99.9% of it water.
Yeah, it's heavy.
And it's heavy to ship it. And of course, there's a cracked can occasionally or something like that. Forget it. It's like now we have to like replace cans all the time. But every unit is $1.25. Every can costs us $1.25 in weight to ship it. We had one person that was buying, I think they were buying 2 cases a month and shipping it to Hawaii. And I was just like, we're so underwater with this person. Like, sure. I don't know. Like, I don't think we changed the shipping rates on that person, so we're probably still shipping them. But I felt terrible because it's like, it's Hawaii, like they don't probably have access to any products out there. So I was like, we should be shipping it to them. But at the same time, it was like, I think it was like $70 a case to just ship it or something crazy.
Yeah.
So, but then again, if it's New York, it's like $8 for the case to ship. If it's in Wisconsin, it's like $15 to ship. And it's like, how do you smooth out that a little bit? So for our cases, I think we charge a flat fee of $20, I think, to ship. And if you go over a certain amount, we get free shipping, of course, but that gets expensive too. So it's like, you can't win. You really can't. And then everybody's unhappy because there's like, why are you charging me shipping fee?
Right. Everyone's unhappy.
You know how much it is to ship water across the country?
Yeah.
It's not cheap. So yeah, it's the bane of my existence as well. Like we have conversations about it all the time because we're like, oh, our COGS look great. Our margins look good in this product. Let's ship it. And we're like, ship it. Ding. How much is it going to cost to ship this thing?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like $7. I'm like, crap, there goes a lot of our margin.
Same deal.
It's tough, man.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as we start to wrap, I think, is there like any kind of, we talked about startups, we talked about addiction and overcoming it. We've talked about obviously apparel a ton. Is there anything we didn't cover necessarily that you wanted to cover?
I mean, there is one thing.
What's that?
This has to be the first podcast ever of two guys who, as a course of their life, wear white glasses.
I was just going to say, this is the
are we literally not? Hold on. Are we literally not going to talk about this?
I was hoping someone in the comments would say something and I'd have to address it there.
Okay. You want to tell me your white glass story and I'll tell you my white glass story?
My white glass story is I'm late to glasses. I probably got them in my 20s. And I always liked this style. Because I had a couple weird ones, but you know, when you go to the get your first prescription ever, they give you like, oh, it's Dolce & Gabbana, and it's like Guess, and like you're like, all right, I'll take these or whatever. I don't know which ones I got, but they were like frameless, and I looked like a nerd, and I'm like, I don't like these. But slowly, I liked this kind of Wayfarer style, and so I kept on kind of like rebuying them. Then eventually, I think it was as I was starting my cannabis journey, some of the earliest photos I have of me and my cannabis journey probably have black rims on them. My wife was like, try white this time.
Really?
So my wife suggested it.
Huh. So
yeah, I give her 100%. Hear this, honey? I'm giving her 100% credit for the image that you've created.
Yeah.
So yes, even the beard and everything else is like, the beard came from there was a Christmas present one year. She was kind of just like, hey, you know, have you considered growing out your beard? And I was like, no.
Growing out your beard is a Christmas present to your wife?
Yeah. She's like a jam band, hippie chick.
Yeah, I like that.
So she's just like, she likes a scruffy dude, you know what I mean? So I was like, I'll grow it out. Because I was always mostly clean shaven, and short hair and everything else. But she crafted this image, and the white glasses are 100% credit to her.
Love it.
What's your white glasses story?
So my son did a semester abroad in Sweden. And I'd always worn black glasses, similar style. Same as you. I didn't start wearing glasses till I was late in my 20s, probably early 30s, really. And I was existing with a scrape on my glasses. I had black glasses. So I bought 3 pairs of glasses. I bought a black pair, a white pair, and a yellow pair because he went to Williams College and they were Williams yellow.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I bought those colors, but I've always been a little goofy. I mean, I don't mind. They're just glasses, right? I'll wear them once or whatever. I'm on the way to the airport to go to Sweden with my family. I dropped my black glasses because they were really loose. For some reason, you know, you wear glasses, they get loose.
Yeah. Over time, you're just like too lazy. You're like, I'll replace them eventually.
The scrape on the front.
How long did you have that?
Untenable. Well, no, it exasperated. It was untenable.
Yeah.
So I went into my bag, pulled out my white glasses. We went over Christmas time, Thanksgiving, so Christmas market time to Sweden, to Stockholm. And I put these white glasses on, and my family started calling me Nordic J.
Nordic J.
White glasses, Sweden.
Right.
And, you know, I just got home and people were like, oh, nice glasses.
Yeah.
So I'm like, not going to change my glasses.
Right, exactly.
And now I just wear white glasses and like it's just become what I do.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. Yeah, that's, we're saying white glasses so much that I think it's kind of weird now. So let's stop saying it. I can't even look at you right now.
So funny.
But yeah, that is, it's just, I don't know, but I think personal branding is an important factor in this world.
We're on Zoom calls. We're on social media.
Social media everywhere. So like for us, it's that personal brand. So a lot of people, like there are certain people in cannabis that have their thing.
Yeah.
Like Dab Cowgirl, she wears a cowboy hat and it's green and her eyelashes are green and she wears green outfits and stuff like that. Then you've got Cowboy Kush, or Cowboy now it's just called, Avery, who wears a cowboy hat and has like the, what's that? The bola, whatever. And it's just like everybody, these characters, right? And so I think that personal branding, because people always remember those things.
For sure.
Right? So I think you kind of have to have a little bit of that. And you also have to have a little bit of, my mother, who's from Honduras, she would always have color or flair or something about, she was so like, always a big kind of presence where she went, because she'd have these big floral dresses on and stuff like that.
Love that.
And so I get a little bit of that from my mom, where I'm just like, I should have something like just that little spark of like color or creativity or something that has to come out all the time. I also spent too much time in New York, which is why I dress in all black. My wife's trying to reverse that now. But I wear just a ton of black everywhere. But I probably need to add probably even more color to my kind of attire right now. So let's see. But we do have yellow chairs. That's something.
I love your studio. I love the setup. I told you very early on, I'm probably episode 3 or 4, that one of the best podcasts ever. It's a privilege to be on, really.
Oh, this podcast.
Oh,
good.
It's terrific. Yeah,
Fantastic.
you do a great job, and I love the whole setup and the whole feel of it and your tone. You're a terrific podcast host.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. I, just like, I'm a curious guy. I like,
but, I mean, you're like this off the air, but you're like that on the air. It's hard for people to carry that in both places.
Well, that's the thing, is like, I don't think people realize this. I'm like a super goofy, silly person.
Yeah.
But I'm also just super curious. And so if you meet me at a conference and we sit down, I'm probably going to ask you like 30 questions, because I just want to know how your business works.
A successful entrepreneur.
Yeah. I want to know how it all works, because the one superpower that I have is that I can take tons of separate ideas from outside of cannabis, inside cannabis, whatever. It doesn't have to be cannabis. It could be anything: functional, nutrition, adaptogens, nootropics, whatever, like all ingredients and all this other stuff, or apparel. And I can kind of piece it all together. I can take puzzle pieces from all these other things and make them fit. So I'm just a big connector.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I can make these connections from totally different areas to try to connect them. And that's kind of where my superpower really is. So I'm always in R&D. I never stop creating. I literally have 3 or 4 new products that I'm in the middle of creating right now, just because I'm driven that way. I just can't help myself, because I'm always looking for that optimization, like that little like tweak to existing formulas to make it even better.
You'd have been a great decorator.
Oh yeah? Because you have the materials and figuring all that stuff out. When you say decorator, it throws me off every time. But
I refer to what we do.
Yeah.
As I refer to my business as being a decorator.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do. But things of decoration. I mean, you've got flat embroidery on your hat. You've got screen printing on your sweatshirt.
Yeah, exactly. It's all decoration.
Right. You've got, on your products, you have these decals, but they're not just decals. They've got this metallic.
Well, that's my team. You have to understand, that's Emily, who does a lot of engagement with your
100%.
Because they I think a lot of the branding is due to her ability to kind of see through the BS of cannabis sometimes.
But that's a decoration method what I'm saying is that's a different decoration method. It's not a flat, matte, or shiny. It's that style is a different style, right? That pops out. So that's the thought that goes into product and product.
Right.
That appeals to me, and it sounds like it appeals to you. Now, having said that, I'm more back in the office now these days than actually on the press or embroidering or doing those things. But
same, exactly. I used to be in the production room actually a lot, helping the team in the very early days, whether it was just, sanitizing.
But I totally geek out though at the maker shows, where I see new machinery and I see the way things are able to be decorated versus.
The one thing I do like about trade shows is looking at all the new fancy stuff that's out there. So I will go up and down every single aisle. And if I kind of already understand something, I will just kind of move on and try not to make eye contact.
Yeah.
But for the most part, if I see something interesting, I'll be like, that's because I've also built machines too. So since I've built machines from scratch, I'm always interested in how they got this to work this specific way, because I've tried rotary systems before and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, how'd they get that to work? But I'm not a mechanical engineer though. So I'm like, just curious. And then usually it's salespeople who are on the floor. So it's like hard to ask them questions. But sometimes there's an engineer or somebody from a lab or a tech person will be on the floor. I just talk to him for a little bit. But I love looking at the new fun stuff that's coming out all the time.
Yeah. I've got a piece that I'm going to send you in the next few weeks that's it's a capabilities piece from a new partner of mine. And these capability pieces sometimes are mind blowing.
Yeah.
And what they are is, the company will take one sweatshirt and the 5 to 7 different styles of decoration that they specialize in and want you to see.
Yeah.
They do on the one sweatshirt.
On the one sweatshirt. Wow.
So this is like tackle twill, emboss, deboss. So you've got this puffy treatment.
Yeah.
Then you've got,
I do like the puffy
wild.
treatment. We did a run.
Not puffy print.
We did a run.
The police actually embossed into the actual fabric, and then debossed into the actual fabric.
Gotcha.
I like puffy print too.
Yeah,
but that's screen print.
That's screen print. Yeah, and then the UV or some treatment afterwards, right? So like that pops it.
Yeah. Well, no, it actually in the ink.
It's
actually in the ink, and then when it.
I do want to redo. I did a few already, but I want to redo them just as a trial. Just I had somebody help me out there.
But I like sequins and bedazzling, and I like all that stuff. Like, I think,
rhinestone.
You asked me my dream client. I mean, my dream client is like, tells me like, here's my dream client's like, here's the budget, and go crazy, and we don't have any brand restrictions.
Well, here you go.
That would be crazy just to have someone. And, we have that a little bit with us. We do some of that stuff with Inked, where we'll just do stupid things.
Right. Well, I think it also shows your capabilities too, to be like, there's all the crazy stuff we can do here.
Well, I've also probably thrown away more promotional products than anybody else has too.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I've seen some stuff and I've said, boy, this would be a great piece. And then I've gotten it in and I'm like, I would never sell this trash. Boom, right in the, and I'm like, I wish I did my due diligence on that a little bit more.
Yeah. Sometimes just that trigger, just go, we're going to do it. And then,
sometimes that's the way you find out that a partner is not the right partner.
True. Absolutely.
And that's
why I like to do small runs. That's why I always talk about MOQs with people, because they're just like, give me like 5.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need 100. I'll buy 100 or 500 later, but like, give me 5. I just got to test the quality first. Like, you just don't know until they've done the run first. You know what I mean? So everything we always do is super low MOQ until we actually like it, dial it in, tweak it a little bit, whatever we need to do, and then go ship it. Then like, all right, now we do thousands, right? But anyways, Jay, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on.
Thanks, Jason. Same.
And I don't know, thank you so much for coming on, and I can't wait to continue to work with you in the future.
Yeah. Awesome. Really enjoyed it. Thanks so much.
All right. Take care.